Tiffany has spent 11 years engaging students' curiosity in biological and physical science. She uses echo pens to pilot the flipped classroom. Second time we've heard that word tonight, where students come to class with information to have a meaningful science content discussion. So come on up.
Good evening, everybody. I'm excited, I'm humbled, I'm nervous, but I'm here, thank you. Thank you to Dr. Yager also for this wonderful opportunity in making this possible. This is really a big deal for me. I'm a career changer, so education is actually my second career. And one of the things that I really enjoy about being a career changer is that I can take my lab work experience and bring it into the classroom and make it more real for the kids. So let's begin, I guess. Okay, super sciences. So I teach in Southern Maryland, which is about 30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. I have kids who have come from Washington, D.C., and I have a lot of rural kids, so I teach kids across the gambit. And one of the things that I find that's very tough for reaching them is, what do I need this for? What does it mean to me? And as a chemistry teacher, not only is chemistry part of our graduation requirement, but it's one of the least liked sciences where I come from. It's too much math. This is a math class. So I have that to fight against. And so I'm really big on this idea of holistic teaching. I need them to understand why it's important you know this science, not just because you need to graduate, but because you might actually need it one day. You know, if your parents are farmers, we can talk soil chemistry. If you want to go into cosmetology, we can talk skin and hair chemistry, you know, and these are very important for our kids because a lot of times they don't realize that the things that I'm giving them now, they might use for a career later. So we did hydroponics when I taught middle school. We did 2 different experiments. One was we did bean sprouts, and we had a basic mixture and an acidic mixture, and we talked about the differences in their growth. This is a group of my middle school kids. Once again, if you notice the man that's kneeling down holding his hand like this, that is Tim M. Hoff, and he's from the Nanjamoy Science Center. I teamed up with him. He came and brought all the materials, and eventually my kids ended up with this awesome rain garden that you see below. They did all the work. It was their idea. We came up with 3 ideas that we wanted to do to make our school grounds more environmentally friendly. We did bird feeders, we did a rain garden, and we also did like the old tire pond. We did those 3 projects. And before I knew it, I mean, they really took this thing and ran off with it. They had their parents bringing in stuff. They were donating truckloads of rocks and soil. So they really bought into it because once again, it affected their immediate community. And I find that when you do something that's going to affect their immediate space, they really get into it. As you see here, this is more of what's going on our pond, and we had a compost heap that we used to feed our garden. And those are just some of the things that we did for middle school. Part of the flipped classroom that I use, I've been doing it for a few years now, but we also use an interactive notebook. This really helps with students who have barriers with writing and reading because they have an artistic component. They can draw out what they're trying to say to me, and that allows another way for them to communicate with me other than just having to write statements. Now, obviously, I want them to be able to write scientifically, and so we build from there, but it starts with their art. And if they can explain their art to me, then I tell them, take those words that you just gave to me and put them on paper. Now I'm a high school chemistry teacher. I love it. We've talked about so many relevant things nowadays. Here, I took the kids to the National Air and Space Museum right in DC. Woo-woo. And we had just finished talking about electron configuration. And that's a very complex topic for them to wrap their brains around. And so we got into this conversation about, well, what's going to happen one day when we can't live on Earth anymore? And they said, what do you mean? I said, you do realize that the Earth is not going to last forever, right? And they said, well, I never thought about that. And I said, so this electron configuration that we're talking about now, when we talk spectroscopy, this is what NASA is using to find another livable planet. And they were like, oh my God, are you serious? And I said, yes, I'm serious. And I actually spent a week doing a NASA workshop where we talked more about that. And so I had those conversations with my kids, and they were really enthralled. So they were excited to go and see this. If you see over here to the side, the young lady is grabbing her face. We also have a chem club in our school. Myself and the other chemistry teacher, we run the chem club. And here we had an after-school web party, basically, with the chem clubs all over the country, and we hacked our taste buds. So we talked about, how that works, and brain chemistry, and what you're seeing, and how different people might taste the same thing, but it might taste a little differently. Oh. Went a little too far, sorry. Thank you very much.